Hi and welcome back to the second part of our tutorial. This time we want to learn how to set up the regions. Therefore, the first thing we have to do is to calculate all regions. Well, here they are. When you select the region in the list, it also gets selected on your model here. So you can make sure that the right bone is attached to the right region. This is only done in Autoweight Full, and if you have checked Auto Find Bones, for example, if I do it again, clear the selection, then you can see nothing happens. Calculate all, the regions have been calculated, but the bones have not. So again, bones are all there. As you can see, you have three new view modes. For example, this one is the normal mode, as you know your model in the scene, for example. This is the vertex color mode or region mode. Vertex colors or regions are stored to the vertex color channel, so make sure you don't have any information there you need. And we have the new influence view, which I will describe in a minute. I just want to let you know that it is possible now to use your custom bones. If you want to use this specific dummy chain, for example, then you would have to tell Autoweight, because otherwise, if you hit the calculate button, it will find the biped bones or cat bones by default. So you have to tell Autoweight that it should not use the default values and use the bone chain of those custom bones instead. So just select the highest parent of the chain, for example the root in this case, and then just hit calculate all regions, and you can see that Autoweight found dummy 3, which would be this one, dummy 2, which would be this one for toe, and dummy 1 for the foot. This is quite nonsense, but you can also recognize that it did not find dummy 4. Why is that? Because dummy 4 is the nub bone. So Autoweight interprets dummy 4 as the nub bone, as you know with your normal bones, for example, or the biped has also nubs, and Autoweight will never calculate nubs. So keep this in mind. If you just create a dummy as a bone, then this is not enough. You need to create another nub for the dummy. If you deleted something, then just make sure that it's deleted here as well. Right click on the button, the hierarchy has been erased from Autoweight. This is also useful if you have modifiers on your biped, for example, then Autoweight will not recognize the biped as normal biped anymore. So you need to select the biped root as a custom dummy or a custom bone mesh, and then just hit the calculate button. Another new functionality has been added to Autoweight. Now it's possible for you to select multiple dummies in the hierarchy and move them upward. This was possible before, but just with a single bone, and now you can do it with multiple bones. You can also delete multiple bones as well, or you could change multiple bones at once by just selecting everything and then change the values here. The thing which you might recognize is the little spinner here on the top and those little spinners over there. These spinners have been added to replace the smoothing curve that was available in Autoweight 0.061. If you want those values to have a global effect, then don't select anything and change the values, and every value for the transition in your model will change as well. If you just select a few, for example, you want the calf to have a smaller transition from one bone to another, then you would select the calf and maybe select the other calf as well and change it to 3. This is also possible if you want to change the value from where to start with the transition and where to end with the transition. Those values here. You have this drop-down list here telling you that you could use a linear function right now. That's the only one. I plan to add more in the future. This function just says that from one region to another, between those transitions, the decline is linear, not square or cubic. If you want to see your transitions, then you need to switch to the influence mode. Everything that has been checked is visible in the influence mode. It is also just visible if you change the spinner. So if you don't select anything, select the new value, then you don't see the transition of 6. Right now you see the transition of 4. You have to keep that in mind so you don't wonder why something is, for example, as it is. And if I change that back to 3, then I get a visual impression how large the transition and the fall-off will be in that area. You can also change that here. So blue is 1, it's a skin value of 1, and red in this case would be a skin value of 0.1 or 0. White is always 0. I would say we will change those transition values to kind of, I think 4 is enough, and maybe we should do it globally. Right click if you want to deselect everything in the list, then just double right click on it and everything gets deselected. I want to change my starting transition to 1 and my ending transition to 0. And I also want to change the transition size to 6 and maybe make it a little bit smaller for the neck, and I guess for the calf and the other side, and maybe for the tip as well, but I leave it like that. For the calf, a value of 3 would be probably, or maybe 4 would be enough too. For the belly, I want to add more transitions, maybe 8. And here we go. Just hit the Add Skin modifier and your skin gets calculated automatically. This might take some time depending on the density of your model. Now you can test your skin, and if you encounter kind of errors, for example in this area here, then you could always go back, maybe delete the skin before. I guess I need a much bigger size in this area. That's why I switched it to 11 or maybe 12. And just do the calculation again. And as you can see, it is getting smoother right now. I just wanted to give you an impression how fast you can set up a whole character using Autoweight instead of setting up skin weights tediously and just jump right into the final work instead of doing repetitive tasks over and over again. And that's why I want to thank you for your attention, and I really hope you have a good start with Autoweight. Thanks.